many Skype users in the house? Let's do a big applause to you. We love you, obviously. So let me introduce myself. My name is Tiit. I'm a site leader and head of engineering people operations in Skype. So site leader is something that is specific for Estonia, where I work, and engineering people operations is a global program where I worry about engineers' learning and development and training. I'm also a pilot and a skydiver. I have more than 1,000 jumps and more than 300 flight hours on me. And yesterday when I arrived to Lithuania, which I love, I learned that Jurgis Kairis just recently got an award, highest award you can get during the peacetime. So I phoned him up and I congratulated, and we go way back. The other Lithuanian with whom I've been flying is Darius Iskanaitis, who unfortunately passed away in 2004, but he really introduced me to flying, and so I owe all the thanks to Lithuanian folks. Because of you, you have one person in Estonia who is totally excited about flight. Okie so what I will cover, I'll take a couple of stories about Skype. I will give you the understanding how engineering works, how people get work done, and also where the product is going in the future. So bear with me for next 30-35 minutes, and then we hopefully have some time for questions as well. But first, I will show you the first ever Skype TV commercial.
She's beautiful. So beautiful. We're calling her Laura. We think she looks like Laura. She already has a full head of hair. And she's got my eyes. Luckily for her, everything else is pure Sarah.
With free Skype-to-Skype video calls, you can be right there with them, wherever they are.
So that was on the air a few years ago. We did not do a lot of marketing in early days, but now it's becoming more and more, but we still rely on you actually to do all the marketing, all the share, the good stories that you use Skype for. So let me do a little bit sort of a mental exercise with you here. There was a challenge. Challenge is that we all know that the speed of light is about 300,000 kilometers per second. So let's assume that you have to call to the other side of the globe. It's about 20,000 kilometers. Light in vacuum travels 67 milliseconds to the other side of the globe. However, if you look, so my left, your right corner, the International Telecommunications Union standard body suggests that you have to have maximum, or you can have maximum 150 milliseconds for speech to be understood. Because if it's longer, you become double talk and echo and all sorts of problems. So the problem is that in fiber optics cable, light travels that 20,000 kilometers about 100 milliseconds. So what you have left is 50. However, if you look global IP providers, the backbone owners who really have the big cables in the sea and terminate the connections in different continents, they add up 55 to 65 milliseconds to that budget. So that's it. There's no way you can have all, basically, using that methodology. So, and you also have local ISP that adds their sort of delay into the picture. So it becomes pretty impossible thing to do. In addition to the delay that this constraint that we have in form of speed of light, in addition to that delay, you also have a jitter, which is what means the jitter is basically how much the delay changes over time, and you have also packet loss, which is pretty normal in like Wi-Fi's and etc. So this challenge was solved. And if you want to know how it actually was solved, you have to come work for Skype log in and check out piece of code and look into the code how they did it. So, back to reality. The vision is very ambitious. To be the global communications tool that people can rely on every day to share their experiences and get work done as well. In Skype, we do work with Skype. There is less email, more chatting. We are distributed around the globe, which means that we have to call each other, do conference calls, etc. A couple of data points actually. The first key metric today, which we are extremely proud of, is that Skype represents 25% of all international long-distance phone calls. So they call the PSTN calls, mobile calls, and that Skype on top of them. Then Skype represents 25% of this traffic today. That's studied, well-known fact. 51% of those calls are video calls, which is amazing because you have like over 10% of the all international long-distance traffic already video. Great potential, but already proved use case. We just reached in April 40 million concurrent users, which architecturally, we use this peer-to-peer architecture and it's pretty complex. It's pretty good achievement, actually. We have about 246 million users who use Skype more than 100 minutes a day. Correction, 100 minutes a month. And these users we call connected users, active users. They actually spend money as well. So about 10% of the whole population is paid users. And altogether, last year, we have consolidated around 300 billion minutes of voice and video. So let me introduce a little bit the timeline, how we got there. Somewhere in 2003, Skype.com got registered. Nobody knew about it. But just in 4 months, guys were able to pull up and create the first version of Skype. And we went out in August 2003. Very quickly, sort of viral marketing started getting going, and people really downloaded the application a lot. And we were this small, humbly, little piece of software that enables you to communicate over the internet. So we were extremely humble in our communications. But that resulted with enormous success in just about 2 years, from nothing to $2.6 billion that eBay bought Skype with. We were working in extremely harsh conditions in Tallinn, by the way. We were in this cybernetics institute where small, lousy air-conditioned rooms, and they're sweating during the day and cold during the winter, you know. But then we moved to the great house, great building, which is in Technopolis campus in Tallinn, which has 5 stories, and it's award winner several years for internal design, for work comfort, etc., etc. As I mentioned, we were very humble, this small application, because we didn't want to compete with telecoms. They, of course, became across as a threat because we eat up their margins and their revenue. But we were just this little application, so you couldn't really get a hold of it in terms of legal point of view. So we measured our success in downloads, and somewhere in 2008 we reached 1 billion download sort of a milestone. Again, Skype is this small, nice, soft thing you handle with a lot of money to another buyer. So Silver Lake-led private equity consortium decided to buy 65% out of Skype from eBay. And after that, we actually had another milestone where we sort of entered into the big players club. So we reached this milestone I already mentioned. We reached 12% of all international long-distance calling, somewhere beginning of 2010. 2011, again, already a little bit bigger and a little bit more serious, a little more mature Skype organization, was shining like a diamond. And it was handed over with $8.5 billion from Microsoft to private equity guys, just in 2 years, imagine. And today, actually at the end of last year, we reached this important milestone of quarter of international long-distance calls actually done by Skype, which makes us the biggest sort of rich internet communication mediator in the world. So, who we actually are, where we are. Of course, it got started in Tallinn, and it's still the biggest engineering center today. We have also a small office in Tartu, but we very quickly established our headquarters in Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a very favorable tax and legal climate, so they actually, as a government, they work with you to make you sure you are successful. Hopefully we'll see that in Baltic countries in future. We established a business development office in London, where it sort of all happens. And pretty soon, actually, we started to look talent outside of Estonia as well. We established the office in Prague and bought the company in Stockholm, where we continued to evolve the office as well. And we established offices in Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. These are the sort of small product marketing, business development offices where they work with the hardware vendors to come up with new Skype phones and stuff like that. A couple of years ago, we moved into a new and shiny office in Palo Alto. So there is about 120 people working right now in California for Skype. And we bought Quick from Moscow. It's a mobile video sharing service. And GroupMe from New York, which is a startup that was just very, very quick success and is doing this multi group chatting feature. As I mentioned, the biggest engineering center is in Tallinn, Estonia, and 1/3 of the company is working actually there. Most are engineers. Out of that, we have about 80-20 split what goes to Estonians and foreigners. So we have about 80 guys. I know 4 guys from Lithuania, by the way, are there working. And male, female it's pretty weak. I mean, it's 80-20 again. So unfortunately, not so many developers or testers are female, but we're working on that. But if you think about Microsoft, which we are now division of, one division inside Microsoft, one of 8 divisions, we are very, very small, 1,200 people altogether. Microsoft has 96,000 employees globally. Okay, about the products. Very quickly, as you all sort of used and are using it already, different platforms, both touch devices and computers on different platforms. Well, video calling, chatting, group chat, group video calls. But Skype Wi-Fi is a pretty good feature. So you go to the airport, which has a Boeing-Go connection. They have more than, I don't know, in the list, hundreds of thousands of Wi-Fi areas, basically. You can quickly launch the internet connection, pay with Skype credit, and download your stuff and upload your stuff, and then quit, and you pay rather reasonable price there. Of course, sending SMSs or making your computer as a telephone with online number. And also caller ID, call forwarding is quite a nice feature. I use it a lot. And as I mentioned, we have a couple of acquisitions which we have kept as an island almost, which is Quick and GroupMe until this time. So how Skype actually works, how we make it. Basically, there is a need for product definition, right? So we were very project-driven, sort of functional organization. And then we realized that, hey, we need to establish ownership. Who owns different products? And we defined the product as one independently releasable unit of software. And we have these 2 types of products. We have internal products. These are like audio, video engine, user management, contact list management, like databases, backend. Those products are building blocks for external products. And these are the products also who provide and maintain some services that are used by external products, basically. There is about 24 of them internal products. 22 are external. Those are, these you can download or install or access. For example, if you take like Skype Manager, for example, you can access that and to maintain your small, medium-sized business credit unit there. All those product teams are actually cross-functional, meaning that they have product management, product engineering management, they have testers, they have developers, designers, architects, product marketing people, everyone working together as a team. And these teams are tracked through maturity, they are developed through maturity, so we measure how they're doing, we help them with the infrastructure, etc. And if their maturity grows, then our expectations grow with those, of course. We are using this development methodology called Scrum, which means that you work based on the backlogs, which backlog is, has product backlog items, PBIs in it, and you organize the backlog based on return on investment, basically. So you're always working on the hottest thing, basically. What goes with it is that we have product ownership, we have a quick release cycle, and we can actually respond to users' needs quicker. We can do stuff faster. So we previously took about 9 to 12 months to come up with a new version of software. Today, we are able to release a new version every month, if you like. And with that, what came was that we became proactive about quality, not reactive. So we today have a lot of things that make sure that quality is built in. I used to run the quality engineering organization in Skype for 6 years, so that was sort of a result of my work there. A lot of companies have values, right? The values are there to make sure that employees get high sort of work satisfaction. They have a purpose to come. We have established our own values, and we call them principles, actually. And these principles are there to make sure that when there is an open question, when there is a sign of uncertainty or something, then you can turn to those principles and look how we decided what we are. So the first is the put for product engineering first. What it means is that we have made a decision who brings money to the table. Since we don't have sales, we don't have marketing, it's, well, very little marketing, it's engineers. It's those product teams who bring money to the table, so everything must be optimized to make sure they are happy, that they have no impediments, no obstacles to get stuff done. The second thing is that we are truly global. We don't have sort of a headquarters. It doesn't matter where the product is developed, as long as it's developed. So we have a lot of the teams are actually sort of international, so they have a few folks in Prague, a couple of folks in Tallinn, but we have about 50 different nationalities globally. We have hired to the middle layer of the seniority, which means that people come in with their own views about how things should be done. So we have recognized that and tried to utilize that as our benefit, not as a source of conflict. So that's why we have that principle that everyone must understand that we are truly global. Part of my work happens after 9 o'clock, unfortunately, if I have to get business done with Palo Alto, and that's okay. We have accepted that. We solve for a dynamic world. That's, I guess, pretty hard actually to explain. I know what it means. I guess the best way to explain it is that we will never get there. We will never get ready. There is no ideal state that is arriving tomorrow, just that it would arrive tomorrow if you would know some silver bullet. There isn't such thing. Every day is a new situation, and we must take that into account. Competition-wise, locations, political situation, technology development, innovation, etc. The last thing we convert ideas to users quickly is all about being very fast. Very fast in your thinking, in your execution. So if there is an idea, if you can slice it up to the reasonable chunks of work, then we can roll out the first stage of an idea implementation within a month. And that's very important in our space. We understand competing with Googles and Apples and etc. You have to have very great responsiveness. Also, we don't punish people who fail, right? That's the point of the, if you go to experiment, sometimes you fail. Most of the times maybe you fail. We rather would support you with the team and make sure that next time you get it better, so. Okie dokie. Let's wake you up a little bit. Now you hear the evolution of internet communication. So first I'm going to play the standard telephone quality. Oh, sorry, too early.
To administer medicine to animals is frequently a very difficult matter.
In the course of a December tour in Yorkshire.
So that's the sentence that is used analyzing in audio. Every audio engineer knows that sentence. All video engineers know one picture. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me. There is this lady, sort of cover star from 1979 or something, that they use to measure the video quality. However, the sentence you just heard, let's hear it once again.
To administer medicine to animals is frequently a very difficult matter.
In the course of a December tour in Yorkshire.
If you have to hear that for an hour, with that kind of quality, you get tired. I've been in US conferences where people have started to snore into the conference bridge. It's not a nice situation. So it's very tiresome to have long conversations with that kind of quality. However, if you use high definition.
To administer medicine to animals is frequently a very difficult matter.
In the course of a December tour in Yorkshire.
So we basically are in the same room. And that is not so tiresome. That is something that keeps your attention going. So you can get there, you can get stuff. You can basically observe things a lot easier. With video, oh, wrong button. With the video, we started with 240 pixels. It was 2005, just before acquisition of eBay, by eBay. And today it has evolved into full HD experience. The guy in the picture is Andrei Efremov, who is our leading video architect. He's also behind the algorithm of the game that was popular a couple of years ago, SingStar, that measured how well you can mimic the song and etc. So full HD video over Skype. You have to have a good network, of course. You have to have a pretty powerful machine and a good camera, but Skype can do it. So what does it mean? If you look to the evolution of internet, basically you have certain stages there. It's a mainframe, then it's sort of PC, then there was a web boom, and now it's app boom, right? So apps, you have very easy access through App Store, it always installs perfectly, it's tested, it's connected, etc. So it's extremely easy. The other thing is that the internet used to be sort of a collection of connected PCs, but now it will become connected devices. So not only PCs commanded by people are talking to each other, but devices are starting to talk to each other. They actually estimate that during 2013, the new people coming to internet, their default experience will be mobile. So when I started, I think I saw internet first time at, I don't know, 92 maybe in Finland when I was studying. Maybe it was 91. My internet experience was a terminal. That's what the internet meant to me back at that time. Users in that space are not worried about how to get the applications. They are more after the content, what applications can do. So they have a wish and they can find it like that from app stores. They have a need and they find it like that very quickly. It used to be so that you sort of had to read forums and whatnot, you know. It's something totally different from today's experience. So where this puts us, where we are today, well, that's something I guess you have seen hundreds of times. However, that is important. The smartphones will grow. I mean, somebody hinted that Samsung is going out with African-oriented $100 smartphone soon or something. So they will grow. Also tablets will define their own sort of space they already have, but there's only one sort of, maybe Android is picking up as well, but hopefully we have more companies coming out with the tablets, so also with Windows 8 for example. Then if you look into the operating systems in the mobile, so what I'm talking about is actually that internet will be mobile, totally, completely. Is that when I look at my own story, I used to be a Nokia guy for basically a couple of years after iPhone arrived, so 2000. I think I went to iPhone around 2009, and after that I tried Android for a couple of years, and now I'm with the Nokia Lumia to try out the Windows piece, and we got them for free, so it's very good. Microsoft sort of, I know the story is that, don't tell anyone. Steve flew to Tallinn, asked one of his associates that, hey, how much would it be if everyone gets an Xbox and the Windows Phone? So the guy was like, $1 million. Okay, let's do it. Everyone got the Xbox and the Windows Phone through this Microsoft acquisition. All right, so there is another thing which will explode soon, is that if you look at the LTE standard for wireless communication, then if you compare those, this promise of speed to the current central London experience, then there's a difference. Which means that with LTE, of course, all voice will be also packet-based. There will be no circuit-based voice anymore, which means that probably mobile operators will come out also with high-definition voice. So that will change everything, basically. Data traffic with it will be growing in about 4 years. We estimate that we have more than 5 times growth to current state, with LTE, of course. And it is happening all over the world. If you look back a couple of years, we see that growth has been rather sort of firm and quite concrete. And actually, Africa here, we don't have data about that. However, it seems that they are all about mobile. There is no infrastructure for landlines. So it will be interesting. So what have been Skype's success right now in this, and over-the-top means that from telecom operators' point of view, over-the-top means everyone using your infrastructure to deliver value-added services which you are not able to provide. So with Android, we have a pretty good penetration. About 20% of Android users have downloaded Skype. Skype has been rather successful with iPhones as well, and as an app in App Store we have different placements there. However, there is one very big problem, which is battery life. It's not only for Skype, it's actually, my daughter has my own old Android, and with me it lasted for a day, but with her it's empty by the 5 p.m. And this is a real problem because I can't call her and pick her up from the city because her phone is empty. So I asked, what do you do? Well, you know, I did the Facebook. I don't use it during the classes or anything, which I believe, but she's a good girl. But you know, this Instagram actually. And then we checked up Instagram, that's eating up the battery like crazy. So also Skype, of course. So we have to do something dramatic with that, and I promise you that you're going to see a change in battery life still this year from Skype. So how about the future? Of course, you saw the metro style, and that's extremely important that Skype would be available in metro environment with Windows 8 when it goes out like big time. So this will arrive yet this year. We will grow engineering in Europe. We are about to hire 400 people this year. We are well on track with that. Well, that's globally. We are about to hire about 80 people to Tallinn, and that's why we are sort of looking around. We have things in Latvia, now we're here. Our girls are actually on the second floor, if you can talk to them. And we were in Kiev as well, so we tried to grow Estonia's center of excellence as much as possible. The brand will stay. Skype is Skype. Although we are part of Microsoft, one division, we actually will be Skype. And that's fantastic. We will remain multi-platform. And I have a couple of quotes here. So as Steve Ballmer would say, "We always wanted Skype to be first and best on Windows, but certainly a strategic part of the value in communication software is working on all platforms. We are committed to cross-platform support." Steve. So I believe him. I heard those words from the other side of the table, so what can I do? I will believe him. We of course try to integrate with Microsoft where it's possible. However, integration can very well and very quickly kill innovation, so we have to be extremely careful with that, not to over sort of focus on that. Microsoft is big in enterprise, and Skype is not. We have certain reasons for that, however, with help of Microsoft, hopefully, we can remove those. And yes, we will keep innovating around rich, always on, everywhere type of communication. So that was it from me. Thank you, and very happy to take questions. And questions are coming up very fast. I can ask the first question if you like.
Thank you for it.
Yeah, can I?
Yes, of course.
So Tiit, how is it to work for Skype? Well, it's, you come in when you like, but you have to get your work done. You get in, you get breakfast, and then you can spend time with the most interesting, most smartest people we have, and you actually learn every day. You have to, even if you don't do anything, you still learn. That's why I'm here. Also, yeah, then you get lunch for free. Then you get invited into team offsites. Sometimes they happen locally in Estonia. Sometimes you fly to Palo Alto, can visit places. You get pension. You get healthcare. You get insurance. You get bonus, you get equity. What else? You get pretty much actually. Oh, clothing, you get clothes as well. It's great branded, so you can show off. You get pretty good computer. Actually, you are free to choose what you get. So I think it's a pretty reasonable proposition. Thank you.
Our online viewers have asked whether Google Talk and Facebook chat has changed anything for Skype in the market.
So I'll take Facebook first. You know that Facebook video calling is powered by Skype? Yeah, we launched it last year, very good. As part of that project. Same quality of video you get with Facebook than Skype. You can call to Skype users and you can call to Facebook users, vice versa. If you didn't know, try it out. Facebook chat is very convenient, sort of a quick check, because people are usually there, they're online. Sometimes you can't really trust the presence information, but okay, I mean, you just still post your message, hopefully they get it. However, it's not good for actual work or longer conversations. And it sort of disrupts this notion of conversation which we have in Skype. So you have SMS, you have chat, your calls, everything in the same window. You do the file sharing stuff, you can scroll back and you have a history and stuff. So it's a little more convenient to use right now. What goes to Google Doc? We have a small issue with Google. The issue is that they are trying to kill the competition with money, specifically in Northern America, where you can vote for free. It doesn't cost you anything to all mobiles and landlines. Is it reasonable? Is that the thing that they should do? No, but they're still doing it. Let's see. It's not so successful though. Even, I mean, I don't know why, but it's not something, we haven't seen the impact to our revenues.
What does Skype think of competition with mobile operators?
I knew this question would come up. So luckily I'm prepared. I have a prepared answer. We are focusing on users. And we think that communication experience is beyond the communication infrastructure. So we are very happy that mobile operators are investing into data and really making your experience better. And we will make sure that the user gets the best experience in that environment. You guys don't touch those buttons. All right.
Are there any questions from the audience?
Hi, is there any particular role for Skype in Microsoft ecosystem, or is it just a cash machine which generates profit?
So does Skype have any particular role in Microsoft? Yeah.
Yes.
So when you look at Skype and you look at Microsoft products, I mean, we have, I listed 40 products about, yeah? Microsoft, I don't know, has a lot of products. So we bring in technology. We are definitely better in some areas like audio-video quality, for example. We have our own products that we have developed, own video engines, audio engines that we are maintaining. So that will add up to Microsoft, hopefully, in future. We have a lot of users. That's something that Microsoft is looking as well, how to make sure that the user base will overlap smartly. And we have 1,000 engineers, which, well, it's a high price to pay, but nowadays, to get that kind of talent is a challenge.
Any more questions?
Do you see Skype pre-installed in Windows sometime in the future? Thank you.
I don't know, actually. Is it something that needs to happen? In the world of app stores, you probably get something that you install like that, like very quickly on your machine, either a slate device or PC, and then you start adding up applications as you go. I don't believe pre-install means anything in today's world.
Hi, why don't you have like advertisement on between messages and Skype or something like AdSense has?
So interoperability or?
Yeah, or some banner advertisement in the Skype talk, Skype chat.
Sorry, somehow I don't hear you.
Hello.
So
I was thinking about Google AdSense, and they have like really good advertisement system. Why don't you put some ads between text and Skype chats?
Mm-hmm. So we actually have ads in Skype. These ads are actually that we call premium ads. They are well made. They're made for Skype. We work with, like, we had Coca-Cola, and we now gonna have Olympics and Volkswagen and stuff. So, and we show you this ad only once, basically. If you're a free user, if you're a paid user, you don't see this ad at all. I guess that's just a normal way to consume ads. You actually want to watch it maybe, it's because it's nice, looks good, well made. That's our strategy so far. Let's see in future where it evolves. It's definitely an opportunity for additional revenue. So guys are actually studying it, how it would be making more sense. Where it will be context-driven, like Google, I doubt it, because we don't hear what you say. We don't read your chats. So.
One more question from the online. Why did it take so long to make a Skype version for Windows Phone?
Yeah, it took a while. And actually, I don't know the reason. However, I know that Windows Phone team is one of the fastest developed teams at the moment. So they are doing a lot of education and they just had a test-driven development course in Stockholm where they situated. So I don't know. Right?
Thank you.
Okay. I also have some more gifts. So I know that in the first rows usually staff sits. So I'm going to use the opportunity to give those Skype vouchers to the second row guys. At least you're still close to me, so I always suggest in any situation, just be in the, okay, you want it, there you go. In any situation, be always in the first row. Make sure you are visible and accessible. So these guys got €2 vouchers, and now I have €10 vouchers, so I give you those as well. Right. Yes. There you go. Okay. Good. Sorry, I didn't plan that stunt. I just found them in my bag when I was flying over, so I figured that it would be good gesture to give you a little bit spending money. Thanks a lot all, and I hope it was a good presentation. So very happy to have you using Skype.